President Biden's visit to hard-hit Kentucky, touring the devastation after the deadly outbreak of tornadoes that left so much destruction. The president met with Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear this morning and later traveled to Mayfield, one of the hardest struck areas, getting a view from the sky of the damage. He's also expected to speak this afternoon. We will bring that to you live when it gets started. But now let's bring in ABC News political director Rick Klein and ABC News correspondent Rena Roy joining us with more. Thank you both for joining us. And Rick, what is the president's focus here as he tours the devastation today?
I think he had a couple of main points that he wanted to make, Kenneth. One is that he's committed to making sure the federal government delivers on whatever it can, making clear to the governor of Kentucky that any resource he's having trouble with, he should contact him directly. The communications from him since starting over the weekend have been anything that Kentucky needs and others who were impacted by the tornadoes need, they're going to get. The other one, I think, carries a little bit more of a political message. And he said earlier today, there's no red tornadoes, there's no blue tornadoes. And that message of this being bigger than politics, I think, is an important one to deliver at this polarized time with the nation on edge and with politics playing such a big role in everyone's lives, knowing that this is a more conservative part of the country. This is not a state that supported him. He's there on the ground nonetheless and trying to say that this is bigger than politics and this is a time for the country together. It dovetails nicely with the broader political message that he brings. But of course, it comes at a moment of just unbearable and unspeakable tragedy for the people of those communities.
And Rena, you're in one of those communities, Mayfield, one of the hardest hit areas. We still can't believe the pictures we're seeing there. What is the situation like? What's the president seeing today?
Well, Terry, as we know and as we've seen, tragedy has really just struck this entire area, this small town of Mayfield, this state, this region. But it's this story right here at this home that is truly just heartbreaking. If you walk with me up these stairs here, you'll see that this used to be the steps to somebody's front door. But take a look at it now. It is just a pile of rubble, a pool table, a crib, this entire home just ripped to shreds. And this is where a neighbor tells us a 3-year-old died in the storm. And there are just so many countless stories of heartbreak that we are hearing up and down this block, all around this town since we got to this area shortly after the storms touched down this weekend. We have been hearing from so many people about their loss. And it's also the cleanup and the rebuilding that we've been seeing so much of. Over the past several days, we have seen firsthand crews. They are working around the clock. It is really a 24/7 operation, day and night. We've seen families just salvaging through whatever they can, cleaning up what they can. They have their loved ones coming from near and far to try and help them. And as we've heard the governor say several times now, this is really just the beginning, and this will likely take years. Guys?
And Rick, keeping our eye on the political optics of this trip, despite the back and forth between Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill on things like the infrastructure bill, it seems like this tragedy has brought the parties together at least a little bit here with Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell and that Republican leader there, most powerful Republican senator there on Capitol Hill, saying, look, praising Biden's, quote, rapid support for his state after the tornadoes passed through. So are we seeing more unity on the federal level?
Well, I think that a tragedy like this has a way of uniting the country, bridging some divisions. The political battles between Mitch McConnell and Senator Rand Paul, the two Kentucky senators, and President Biden, they're going to continue, and they're going to be here well after the cameras have left and well after the rebuilding is significantly underway. I think the message that Biden and McConnell and others try to bring to a moment like this is that it has to be bigger than that. You can't get lost in the political discussions of the day. You can't pretend like there is a larger political meaning. And I've been struck, Kenneth, by how right over the weekend, President Biden was linking climate change to the severity of tornadoes like this. But I feel like he's taken a half a step back from that. He has said explicitly he's not using this as an argument in his negotiations around trying to get the Build Back Better bill, despite the fact that it has an historic investment in clean energy and in environmental and anti-climate change initiatives as part of that bill. He says, look, we know where the stakeholders are on this. He's not trying to use it to a particular political advantage. And I think him coming to the area just a few days after the tragedy struck, or right before the holidays, sends its own message. This is not a part of the state or part of the country that's filled with his political allies, but he recognizes they're Americans, and they're Americans that are hurting.
And Rena, it's not just Mitch McConnell who has been praising the federal response. We've heard Governor Beshear and others there on the ground in Kentucky saying that the help is arriving promptly. But you look at what is going on around you. What are the most desperate needs for people right now, would you say?
Well, Terry, I think when you look behind me, you can see that one of the biggest issues, it's shelter for people whose homes look like this now. And I can tell you that we have been seeing Red Cross staff members. They have been all over this town speaking with affected residents directly. We do know that Red Cross has also opened nearly a dozen shelters in this state alone. And of course, for those people who still have their homes in this area, the biggest issue is utilities, power, and running water. We do know that crews, they also are working around the clock to get those things back up and running. We know that FEMA has also distributed thousands of gallons of water. Guys.
A lot of work there.
A lot to be done. Rena Roy, Rick Klein, thanks very much for being with us on the President's Trip. Once again, we'll be covering that when the President does step forward to talk.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.